But anyway, so let's move on. Suicide Squad.
Suicide Squad. I think I'm the only one here who watched it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I was actually going to go with Melman, but he was more interested in watching a documentary about trout, by which I mean he wanted to stare at an aquarium for 4 hours, so I never got to see it. But I did not hear the best of reviews, honestly.
Did someone at least narrate him watching trout?
Well, of course, Morgan Freeman did.
And here we see Melman. He is gazing lustfully at the fish.
And he is licking his paws.
Like a Twinkie. Like a Twinkie.
State Farm is there.
So, Jake, your impression of Suicide Squad.
That's the impression. That's it.
But let me just say, I don't understand. This movie has polarized a lot of fans, just like Batman Superman versus Superman polarized a lot of fans.
The reason it's polarizing is because on one side you have a bunch of DC fans who want their favorite property to be on equal footing as Marvel, and then on the other side you have people who aren't delusional and insist that it's like it wasn't as bad as Batman versus Superman.
That's not a very high bar.
It's not a very high bar, but it's the one they cleared. I mean, so just to begin with, the movie starts off and they're introducing every member of the Suicide Squad, and every single one of them has their own pop song from the 80s.
I don't think we need to give a spoiler warning, because there's nothing that probably going to spoil a movie this bad.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, anyone who hasn't seen it yet is probably recording this podcast right now. So I mean at this point. So yeah, the movie starts off introducing each member of the Suicide Squad. They each get their own just absurd 80s pop song.
Never gonna give you up, never gonna let you down.
So wait, Hollywood was just rickrolling us with this entire movie?
I wish that it was just a 3-minute rickroll and it was over. No, they did their whole thing, and so the point of the movie is they're putting together a villain squad to be used for good. So they introduce all the guys and they bring them, and all of a sudden, when they're bringing the Suicide Squad out, there's one guy who they didn't even bother introducing. Because I'm kind of a big comic book nerd. After a few minutes, I realized it was an obscure villain named Slipknot. Yeah. And so
not the band, but that would
that would have been equally as pathetic. So Slipknot tries to escape and they blow his head up. And it's just like, oh, if you introduced him or even said his name, I might have cared.
Slipknot is the red shirt of the Suicide Squad.
Seriously, they seriously did not even say his name. They just killed him and expected me to care for some reason.
Do you think that was on purpose, like so that only limited number of fans would know? It was like a shout out to them?
No, it was them. I think it was them trying to establish a dynamic between the kind of the captors and the Suicide Squad, and they didn't do enough characterization to make you care about it.
Kind of to provide some sort of stakes if they succeed or fail.
Yeah, the entire movie was basically Deadshot and Harley Quinn. There was a lot of things they did with Captain Boomerang that could have been something if you cared about the character at all or used him at all.
Now I called Jai Courtney a human fence post. How was he in this?
A human fence post. Outside of Jared Leto, Will Smith, and Margot Robbie, nobody mattered in the movie.
Jared Leto is the Joker.
Yeah, one of the things he was upset about is they cut a lot of Joker scenes ended up on the editing room floor, and my response was not enough Joker scenes ended up on that. I hate people who are like, oh, he's better than Heath Ledger. No, he's not better than Heath Ledger. Right? He's no Heath Ledger. He wasn't even Cesar Romero. That was the worst Joker I have ever seen. It was just like he was a step away from just hurling feces at you. That's the Joker that they portrayed with Jared Leto. Like, nothing about him was special in any way. I don't even understand why there is a Joker in this.
It's just for the Batman fans.
Well,
That's
no,
all it is, really.
Well, no, I mean what I'm saying is in this new DC universe,
Yeah.
you have a Batman that kills.
Yeah.
There would not be a Joker.
No.
That would literally be the first dude he kills. On top of that, they were talking about the director came out and said something about like the reason he wears the grills is because
Batman punches teeth in.
Yeah. Like he killed Robin and then Batman punched his teeth in. So you're telling me that there's a Batman who kills. And when the Joker murdered his adopted son, this Batman who has no problem taking anyone's life just stopped after a few punches to the mouth. There should not be a Joker in this universe.
His head would have been a caved-in bloody mess.
The one thing I think you could do to kind of fix that is, and they've already shot it down. They already said they're not going to do that, though nowadays, who knows how much that actually means, is the only way it works is if Joker is Robin.
Yeah.
If he turned on Batman after being, let's say the Joker tortured Robin, before like the murder that they alluded to in Batman vs. Superman. Batman catches up to him. Batman murders Joker. That's his first kill. The Joker has beaten Batman at this point. Robin, in a twisted state of mind, takes up that mantle, becomes the Joker. Now you have a Joker who Batman can't kill, and it makes sense and it gives depth to the characters, but they're not going to do that.
No. So, did you see Killing Joke?
I did not see Killing Joke. Although, not to veer from completely harping on the movie, I will say it was they were very kind to Deadshot and Harley Quinn. Yeah. If you were one of the people who went into the movie because you wanted to see Harley Quinn on the big screen, they did a great job.
Yeah.
They did an excellent job with those two characters. They laid a foundation for future movies with those two characters, but outside of that, it was kind of a flop.
Most of the movie, I don't think this movie's made $600 million yet. Or has it? I'm not sure at the box office.
I have no idea.
But it had to make $750 million to $800 million to break even. So, and the way it was tracking was that it had a huge opening weekend and then a sharp drop off. But it did have enough legs to kind of lumber along. And a lot of the DC fans, listen, DC fans, okay, you need to stop. Okay, you need to stop. Listen, Jake and I, we want these movies to be good too.
Honestly, as far as like comic books go, I like DC more than I like Marvel.
I read the Green Lantern Corps for years. I've read Batman. I read Superman from time to time, but Superman, he was just kind of a wonder bread, that was a character. But we need to really clear the air here. Zack Snyder is not a good director.
No, he's really not, and it's that you got to move on from him.
Yes,
and I mean it's kind of hard to. I'm not sure who exactly directed Suicide Squad.
David Ayer.
Okay, I know you can't really blame him because they're talking about there's 6 different versions of that movie based on how it was edited.
They wrote the script in 6 weeks, which is a short time to write a script. And they had to go back and remember we talked about the R&P Batman special.
Oh yeah,
they had to reshoot all because every joke was in the movie.
Yeah, I mean the other thing too is, not to keep going back to the Marvel comparisons, but in Marvel movies, they have these moments where they're these little known background characters who you kind of have to Google or ask someone who knows, and it's a fun little thing that's going on in the background. With DC, they use those characters too, but those are the main villains.
Yeah.
And it's bad when I have to sit here and, I mean, Enchantress in a DC movie, like, I had to refresh who Enchantress was. Like, I had to go up on Wikipedia on my phone to remind myself who Enchantress was from that one single one-off comic she had.
Dave, you saw Guardians of the Galaxy, right?
Yes.
Okay, we all saw Guardians of the Galaxy. Like Korath, the Pursuer. Like perfect amount of screen time for him to have.
Oh yeah. Or even like how in the collector's case in the background there's a guy who looks a lot like Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah.
Stuff like that they do. DC takes those guys and makes them focal points.
Yeah. Like we don't want to see 2.5 hours of Adam Warlock's Cocoon. No. that would be a bad movie. Like Zack Snyder is actually working at Adam Warlock. But okay, since
same reason The Simpsons never does a Hans Moleman episode.
Hans Moleman in the morning. My life is an excruciating hell. So Jake, what would you give Suicide Squad?
I want to say about 2 Chewbaccas. I don't remember what I gave Batman versus Superman.
You gave it I think you gave it 1. I think 0 Chewbaccas.
Okay, that sounds right.
Yeah.
I'll give it 2 Chewbacca. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't making it lower than Batman versus Superman. It was a step.
Okay.
But not a very big or good one.
Step.
Yeah. Still needs work slightly better than what they did before. They're going to take a while to fix kind of the mess they made by just introducing everything all in one movie.
Yeah. You said you were trying to ham hock everything into one movie. Okay, since we're kind of out of movies right now to talk about, I'm just being honest. Has everybody seen the trailer for Wonder Woman?
No, I haven't.
I actually have not either.
Actually. Okay, what we're going to do is okay, we've all just watched the Justice League and Wonder Woman trailers.
Which one do you want to start off with?
Let's start out with the Wonder Woman.
Came off to me a lot like Lady Captain America. Aside from the aesthetics, the shield, the red, white, and blue costume, it's the hero. I was really confused at first because I assumed that this was taking place in current time, and was like, why has she said that she's never seen a man before when she's obviously been around Batman and Superman? But then I realized they're actually going back in time and have, showing some of her exploits from like generation. It feels very Lady Captain America to me.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. It looked like World War II fighting scenes. Nothing jumped out that makes this really stand out on its own, as among other superhero movies.
Yeah, they really wanted to go with the period piece. So
did they intentionally steal Weezer's logo for the?
I think I think his lawyer's working on that right now. So, but
I like I said, it just came off very Lady Captain America to me. I know she has a shield now in the comics, but that's a relatively new. That's relatively new for her. She's never had that before. So the fact that they chose to, I don't know, it just comes off as very Lady Captain America.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to correct a lot of the problems with Batman versus Superman. They're trying to. It felt a little tighter phrasing, but I don't know. They're gonna have to impress the hell out of me to win me over.
Yeah.
And Warner Brothers is in this weird position now where they have to win people over again and again.
Yeah, it seems like they're trying too hard, and they're just gonna keep trying whatever they can throw at the wall, rather than try to take some time and come up with a good, solid piece.
Yeah, Justice League. So what do we? So you guys I seen the Justice League trailer a while ago. Jake and Dave have just seen it for the first time. What did you think?
Well, I know Melman perked up when he asked about talking to fish.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
I've said this before, and I feel the same way. Aquaman is a bright spot for me in the DC. Everything I see with Aquaman makes me want to see an Aquaman movie. There were a few good things in that trailer. The stuff with Aquaman was it. That was the best That was the best of the trailer. I didn't actually hate the stuff with Barry Allen. I disliked him in Batman versus Superman, but we didn't really get to see much of him. I like that we actually got a little bit of personality out of him in this one. But Flash and Aquaman seem promising to me. Everything else is meh.
Yeah. Well, after Suicide Squad, which I call the Walmartian Manhunters,
Custodians of the Galaxy.
Yes. I think, again, they're in a position, again, they have to win it over. And it looks good, but again, we haven't had the setup for this. I mean...
For me, it was a little tough to get a read. I could see it going either way. It just very, I'm putting together a team. That was the Avengers. That's kind of what Captain America Civil War was. Just these groups of, these extraordinary people coming together and working together. So it's a great concept that we've seen many times, and maybe this one will be good also. But nothing jumped out and said, here's why this stands apart from so many things just like it that have been out in the last 5-10 years. Yeah.
Again, we're the guys who arrive late to the party, really. That's what it is. Hey guys, I'm here. Yeah, everybody left about an hour ago.
And they might, by just again keep constantly putting these things out there, they may run the format dry. These movies are doing really well right now, and most of them are good. But how long can that go on for? If they're going to keep saturating the market with these, people might just be like, "Oh, another superhero movie? Enough already."
I think one of the things though, when people talk about saturating the market, there's 3 or 4 superhero movies a year. But again, they outgross everything in its path. They trounce all the competition. And if you look up, there's actually far more horror movies in release per year. There's over 100 horror movies released per year. So, but the horror movies really don't have the worldwide grosses they do. And we're getting to a point now, Hollywood, they're trying to turn everything into a tentpole. Some things don't need to be tentpoles. I mean, I don't think Suicide Squad doesn't need to be a tentpole. Yeah, it can just stand on its own.
Yeah, no. They did one.
Yeah.
Move on.
Yeah. Guardians of the Galaxy, they'll try to make that into a tentpole. Yeah. But it could be a tentpole, but it really doesn't need to be. You can make several movies without having it be a tentpole.
I think Guardians of the Galaxy can be for the one huge difference of it was legitimately good.
Yeah.
And I want to see more of it. I don't want to see more of Suicide Squad. If you do a Harley Quinn movie, I'll see more of that. If you do a Deadshot movie, I'll see more of that. If you try and bring me in with what you showed me the first time, I'm out.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see Batman versus Kramer or any other hybrid?
Costanza.
I don't want to see Batman versus anyone anymore. If there's any superhero that needs to walk away like you suggested Captain America is going to do, it needs to be Batman.
Yeah.
They need to get off the Batman crutch.
Yeah, well we discussed this last time. I mean, they keep doing is they keep going back to Batman. And I've had enough. Come on, jeez, how much more Batman can we handle?
Batman is starting to be Spider-Man origin to me. We don't need it anymore. We all know it. Let's do something else.
And the next time the Batman story is covered in any capacity, they're probably going to have pre-murdered parents.
Yeah, which is actually the best way to go.
It's we told this story 8 times. Let's modify it slightly for the 9th. Look, it's original.
Exactly. Yeah. No, this time he doesn't use a gun. He uses a spatula to kill the Waynes.
No, not the whisk.
So,
okay, now Doctor Strange. Let's talk a little bit Doctor Strange. Looking forward to it?
Doctor Strange is it's boom or bust for me. It's either going to be great or this is the movie that's going to be like, well, Marvel finally fucked up.
And even if they do fuck up, it's not going to be for very long. So
yeah, no, a lot of things that kind of I think killed the Thor mythos in Marvel for me was the whole there's no such thing as magic. Magic is just science. That shit doesn't fly with Doctor Strange.
No, it's magic.
It has to be magic.
Oh, it's magic.
Rob, you're dating yourself.
I don't know any more words. That's the only part of that song I know.
I'm now picturing...
The people who sang the song don't know more than that.
And then when it gets to the verse, it's just So, Dave, Doctor Strange, you looking forward to seeing The Batch?
He's a terrific actor. Again, I can't always tell too much from trailers, but it should be a good movie.
Yeah. So we got Rogue One is coming actually December. Star Wars Rogue One.
Meh.
I mean, it's not.
I'll see it.
Yeah.
Doesn't look that special to me.
It's not make or break for me. It's not make or break. If it's good, it's good. If it's bad, I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah.
This is as long as they get episode 8 right. Yeah. But
it's pretty much it's filler until episode 8.
Yeah. It's that course between the turkey and between the appetizers and the turkey on Thanksgiving.
It's the cranberry sauce.
Exactly.
The one your grandma made, not the kind in the can.
Yeah, that's kind of but so I don't know. So let's see what we have left to cover.
Are there any movies we're missing?
The Pixar movie. There was a Pixar movie. Did you see that?
What was it?
I was Finding Dory.
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah.
I didn't either. I probably will because most of the Pixar movies are really good.
Yeah, the Pixar movies are entertaining. My big thing is Disney, and actually there's that Pixar movie coming, Moana, with it's about a Polynesian girl.
Yes, I have heard a little bit about that.
That looks pretty good. Another different kind of Pixar movie again.
My only concern about Finding Dory, I'm sure it'll be good, but I just hope it's not discovering Ellen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Kanye. It's not going to be the Kanye West Gay Fish movie. So you don't think so?
When is that coming out? I do kind of want to see that.
That would be funny. That would be pretty funny, actually.
Actually, Melman looks like he wants to see it really badly.
Like slashing file cabinets open badly.
Yeah, calm down, Melman. Okay, we got a bucket of chum for you. Okay.
Am I the only one who thinks it's weird that he wears a short sleeve button down shirt and a tie with no pants?
You were the only one who thinks that's weird.
Yeah, I don't think Melman doesn't have a dress code. Melman just shows up, whatever.
That's what he wore to the interview for the job.
Melman is he's yeah. It's very come as you are for Melman. Like I said, we don't hold him to any specific dress code or any standards. So, when you're 8 feet tall, you really have to cut somebody real.
I mean, I'm not complaining. Melman is, you've said it before, best in the biz. I wouldn't trade him for anyone.
Yeah, but let's. So I think we pretty much covered everything. Yeah, we did 90 minutes last time because we took an extra half hour to rip on Fantastic Four. Unfortunately, we don't have anything to rip on this time.
I mean, we have DC stuff to rip on this time, but we've kind of covered it all, and there's so much of it, you kind of can't get specific.
Yeah, we'd have to do an entire 45 minutes for just dedicated to that. But let's just say there's two unannounced Marvel movies for Phase 3. There's two unannounced. What do you think those are going to be?
I mean, we did talk about Sentry before.
What's Justin Kuskelain from The Walking Dead?
Oh, I have no idea.
That's his name, Kuskelain. He was spotted buying a bunch of Sentry stuff in a comic book shop, I think in Chicago, and that has led to speculation that there will be a Sentry movie, or at least it'll appear in something. Sentry was in Infinity War? He did make an appearance in Infinity War.
Well, if he was spotted buying them, that was on purpose, because if they were trying to keep this hush-hush, he would have ordered them online.
Yeah, probably, yeah. So, yeah, that's... And Sentry, I still think there's going to be some kind of a Moon Knight series. Well, you said there's going to be Moon Knight. I think there's going to be a Moon Knight series.
Moon Knight is one of those I think that they would sooner go to a Netflix show like they did Daredevil.
More character development,
yeah. I think Moon Knight would actually do very well in something like that, as long as I don't have to watch another season of Jessica Jones. That was the worst thing Marvel's ever put out.
Yeah. Did you see Jessica Jones, Dave?
No, mostly what I heard was along the lines of what Jake just said.
Actually, while we're on it, did you see season 2 of Daredevil?
I did see season 2 of Daredevil.
Okay, I have not seen it yet. Without too much spoilers, how would you rate season 2 of Daredevil?
You haven't seen it yet?
I haven't seen. I don't have Netflix.
I will give you my Netflix information.
Hey, we can go to prison for that.
I don't care. You need to see Daredevil season 2.
Yeah, I do need to see Daredevil season 2. And there's a lot of I just got recently around to seeing Star Trek Beyond. I mean, 6 weeks later. So my review. But so without giving away too much spoilers, how was John Bernthal as the Punisher?
Well, he was. If you described the Punisher to somebody who didn't read comics, I think they did a good job of portraying what you described to them. As far as his portrayal specifically as the Punisher, not really a fan. Like I said, I think someone sat down and said, all right, here's the Punisher. He's an ex-special ops guy. He had his family murdered on him, gave him the rundown, and they went with what they thought, but he had a lot of characteristics that were very un-Punisher-like. He didn't feel like the Punisher to me.
Okay.
But it's still good. They found a way to work him into the Daredevil universe very well, and I'm sure Elektra is in it too.
How was LD Young as Elektra? How was
she? She was a good Elektra. Much better than Jennifer Garner.
Speaking of, do you know who else was up for that role? The Jennifer Garner Elektra role.
Who's that?
Do you remember
The
Enterprise, right?
car company?
Yes. The Secretary of Enterprise in North Haven. She was up for that role.
Because I've been saying for years she would be great as Elektra. Just throw some size and a red onesie on her and just let her go down.
Either her or the Geico Gecko.
The Vulcan from Star Trek Enterprise, Jolene Blaylock. She was also up for the role of Elektra in Daredevil, in the Ben Affleck Daredevil, but they went with Jennifer Garner. Probably because she was on Alias at the time, and they thought they could get a good spillover from that.
Also, she was married to Ben Affleck at the time.
No, I don't think she was married.
I think that was before they were together. I think he was still engaged to Matt Damon.
That was pre Geely Ben Affleck. So we all were recovering from that, but. Okay, I will get around to seeing Netflix. And Netflix, and if you're out there,
is it for Geely? You mean you're getting Netflix so you can see Geely?
Geely's a series now?
Geely, the series.
Christopher Walken was actually in Geely.
Wasn't Al Pacino also? I think.
Yeah, there were actually a lot of good actors. Don't ask me how. I used to work at Hollywood.
Did I get in this movie? I don't understand.
Same way I did. I saw a catering table. I just walked in.
Well, isn't Christopher Walken known for never turning down a role in his career?
Yeah.
So I don't think the same is true of Al Pacino.
You have to have more cowbell, Mr. Bond. But okay, I think we've covered it, everything. Jake, any stand-up engagements coming soon?
No.
You have the same answer every time you're here. No, Dave, stand-up gigs you want to plug?
I have a few, but our listeners in Macedonia probably aren't going to attend, so just
I do
look
have
for me on the circuit is all.
I do have a listener in South America actually, and
if you want to fucking book us,
yeah, if you want to pay for the flight, the per diem, we will be more than happy to fly down to La Paz or wherever the hell it is.
Yeah. 3 million a pop for each one of us. That's our price.
3 million lira or 3 million US?
I don't know the conversion rate, so yes.
Yeah, I think that's about $50.
And we need the hotel to be Zika free.
Yeah. Yes. So okay. So what an exercise this has been. This didn't go quite as well as the last RMP?
I think it went fine.
Plus, also, like we were saying before we started recording, there were not as many big movies for this summer as there have been for many other summers. So
we kind of had to stretch this episode out.
I mean, we could have spent probably a half hour ripping Ghostbusters, but I think we decided to go.
Everybody has ripped Ghostbusters enough, and I don't want to.
Leslie Jones needs a break. All right, I don't think I would have said that at the beginning of all this, but poor woman.
Just cut her a little slack. She made a bad movie. I don't care what she said on Twitter. Just come on. People make bad movies all the time. Yeah. Ishtar, people. Okay.
The movie was shit. Leave Leslie Jones alone.
Yeah, that's all. Dave, any final thoughts?
Well, I'm kind of hypnotized here watching Melman scratch his ass, but I think we're done.
Okay, so one more time I'm Robot Shlomo. Rob Robot Shlomo. You are.
I'm Jake Robot Shlomo Bentley.
I'm Dave Jake Bentley Sheehan.
And this has been the
RMP 2K60!
turn.
You channeling Freddie Blassie on that one?
Yes.
This has been the Too Late for Summer Movie Spectacular. The RMP 2K 16 big end of summer blowout, fall television recap, whatever.
Jacob Jingleheimer awesomeness.
So, last time for myself, for Jake, for Dave, we're going to bid you adios. We're going to drop Melman back off at the zoo. You know, hopefully won't rip up the interior of my car too bad.
Okay, I was going to say, are we going to draw straws on this to see whose car that he goes in?
We could just use a tranquilizer gun.
Yeah, we have that, yeah.
Yeah, he got real pissed last time we did that.
You shot it in his eye.
Yeah, he's got an eye patch now.
To be fair, I was aiming for his neck.
Well, then you need to practice your marksmanship.
It bounced off his radio collar last time. So, all right, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to put Melman back in his cage. And till next time, I'll say adios. In La Paz, South America, like I said, we work for scale. That's all I'll say.
Muchas ardias.
Woot.
Yeah, I know the clock is ticking.